Is my PPT available for you? Visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for this information that gave her. I'm Mohammad Asif Shami, Associate Professor at Department of Statistics, Forum Christian College. This is my brief introduction. I'll start from the history of this SPSS. I'm not take so much time on this. SPSS was a statistical package for the social sciences by Norman and Haldane et al. At the University of Stanford in the year. Then McGraw-Hill published the first user in 1970. In 2008, it became the SPSS statistics. Then in 2009, it became the predictive analytics software, but now its copyrights are with the IBM. In 2010, and its 29th version is available in the market starting from the $1,290 per year to $8,540 per year. Its different versions are available. Means to see that the price depends on the modules you are asking for your convenience. Why SPSS? This is a very important question nowadays in the market, that why we prefer SPSS. Why? First of all, it is a very comprehensive software and flexible for many statistical analysis. Data management system in the SPSS is very strong. You can manage the data, you can mold the data, you can make the new variables from the existing variables, and you can perform many types of statistical operation on the data and manage your data. The data can take from almost any type of format like Excel, CSV, Access. It's very good for generate tabulated reports, charts, and plots for distribution and trends, and conduct complex statistical analysis like PCA, FCA, principal component analysis, exploratory filter, EFA, etc. SPSS is available for the several platforms. If someone is using Macintosh or Windows or Unix system, SPSS is available for the very popular micro operating system. The difference between the Microsoft Excel and the IBM SPSS are in front of you. I'll discuss first IBM Microsoft Excel. Excel is a very spreadsheet software, simple to do. And Microsoft Excel can perform many statistical analyses, but it requires a lot of coding and recoding for the transformation of the new variable from the old variable. And Excel sacrifices the very disadvantage of the Excel is that it sacrifices the very first row as a column header at the column name. Because if you have the 1012 observation, then if it shows in the Excel, the column row number is 1012, it means you have the data of 1011 observation, not the 1012 observation. On the other hand, IBM SPSS is a very purely statistical analysis software, and detailed analysis can be performed. Recoding, and transformation is very much easy as compared to Microsoft Excel, because sometimes Microsoft Excel requires the VBA expertise, Visual Basic, and SQL, but in IBM SPSS, recoding and transformation is the game of the just to some clicks. Every column is a variable, because if I take the example of the Microsoft Excel, if as I said, if there are 1012 rows in the Microsoft Excel, it represents 1011 observations. But in IBM SPSS, it completely shows that there are 1011 observations available for the analysis. The I'm going to be, I'm in great, you can say its speed is high, because the time is short and I have to cover so many things. Objective of the course is about the windows in SPSS, how many windows are there, the basics of the managing data file, how the data are being managed, and how the basic analysis is performed. The basic windows. When you open the, let me show you the SPSS first. When you open the SPSS, you see this type of window, right? The basic windows are like this: data view or the variable view. I'll discuss later on what is data view and the variable view. Let me tell you about one thing about the data view. In the data view, over there where VAR are written, these are the variables name. We will define it first according to the data collected, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the rows, these are the observations which we have, and these are the number of responses. Variable view. For the variable view, this sheet contains information about the dataset that is being stored in the dataset. The name, the very first column in the variable view, as you are seeing that, this is the variable view tab, and the very first is the name. Naming the column is very important. The first character must be an alphabet. If it is not an alphabet, the variable name cannot be allotted. Variable name must be unique and have to be less than 64 characters. This is another problem with the variable name. Spaces are especially not allowed. In the Microsoft Excel, you can allow the spaces. Microsoft Excel allows the spaces in the naming of the variable, but in the IBM SPSS, spaces are not allowed. However, understand score can be used to differentiate the names. The next is type. Type means what type of the variable you are entering. Number the basic, when you enter the name, it automatically convert it into the numeric, but you can change the variable type. As you can see the window, the first is numeric, the comma, the dot, the scientific notation, the date, the dollar sign, custom currency, or the string. Width of the variable view, did you determine the number of characters SPSS will allow to enter for the variable? It width, after the width, the base the predefined width is 8 characters. Decimal number of decimal is up to maximum of the 16 decimal point. Basically, it is predefined is 2. Label, this is very important. In this column, you can specify the detail of the variable. You can write characters with the spaces up to 256 characters. You can define in this column what are the basic, what are the name of, what are the basic of the variable is. I mean to say that if you want to write the age of the respondent, but in the name you can write only age, but in the label you can write the age of the respondent, or the gender of the respondent, or the salary of the respondent, or the accommodation. Anything you want to explain in the about the variable is written in the label. The next is value. It is used for the suggest, which value is basically used for if you I will use in the data provided by the respected peoples who joined this session. There you have observed that there are 6 Likert scale. 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is moderately, 3 is slightly disagree, 4 is slightly agree, 5 is moderately agree, and 6 is strongly agree. These values will be entered over here. They will be categorized in this column. Missing observation, and after defining the value, we click and add. For the value of the label, you can put up to 60 characters. When you define the value label, this window will appear. We will come to this window, but after defining the value, what is the process? We will. The next is the measurement level. Indicates the level of measurement. The very basic problem is that SPSS do not differentiate between interval and the ratio level. It only lump sum scale. Nominal and ordinals are differentiated. This is the nominal. Attributes are only named. Ordinal attributes can be ordered. Distance is meaningful and ratio for the absolute zero. I'm ignoring this. Let's come to the SPSS basic screen. Let me download the data you have entered. For the sake of some reason, I'm stopping the sharing. I'm in the background. I'm downloading the data of the questionnaire. And I will come directly to the file in front of you. Okay. I'm sure the screen is visible to you. Sir Gohar, the screen is visible? Okay, thank you. This is the file, the data generated, that is called the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire. This is a very famous questionnaire for the sake of analysis. And from start, last time I used the data, already collected data, but for this time, I'm using the data collected online by you people. So you can see there are the timestamp and username. For the these two variables have no concern with the data, so I'm going to delete it. Now the very first question was, I don't feel particularly pleased with the way I am, and there are about 29 questions in this sheet. If you can see that there, these are the very first row is sacrificed as the name of the variables. And the next is that I'm starting from the demographics, username for the first name, the gender, the age in years, the education level, and the marital status. This is the CSV file. If you can see that this is the CSV file, okay, by the properties. Now I'm going to import this file in my IBM SPSS. First of all, I will take it easy to convert this into an Excel file. I can save this as Microsoft Excel. Now open file. I have to import data from the Microsoft Excel. This is very easy step. And let me trace where is my file. That is download PRT and the XLS file. There are some steps SPSS will ask me. Okay, you can see that read variable name from the first row of the data. Okay, percentage of values determined as per 2095. Ignore hidden rows and columns. I click OK. This is the worksheet, only worksheet. If there are more than one worksheet available in the same Microsoft Excel file, then you have to select from this worksheet drop down menu. Okay, I click OK. So this is the output viewer. I will discuss later on how the data is being utilized. Okay, if you see that the very first row, the very first at the top of the data, you have seen that the name of the variables are there, but these are, look at this, there is no space available. But in Microsoft Excel, if you can see, there is the space of the variable. I feel fully mentally alert. But in IBM SPSS, this is not readable, understandable. That what does it stands for? Life, if this is written as a life is good. So for the sake of the things, but over there, if you see in the label window, label column, this one is the same as written this one. Microsoft IBM SPSS has already converted it into the label. So for the easiness, I write it Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. For my easiness, Q6, 7, 8, 9. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. There are 29 questions in the questionnaire. This is the very first name. It is written as string. We know that name is always string. So I just differentiate by placing the underscore between the first name. Okay. Gender, although the gender over here is not string, but I will clear it. You can see the age in years. So I place the underscore to get the meaning of this. Similarly, this is the education level, and this is the marital status. So basic file is being completed. Now the next is that I'm starting from the variable values. If you see that there is only one width, you can increase this as you like. What will happen if I increase this? Basically, it is 1, and look at the data Q1. If I increase this width 3, it will be same. But if I increase the decimal points by 2, what will happen? Everyone will be getting in the 2 decimal point. But for this sake, I do not need any kind of decimal point. So I'm taking it 0 by default. So these are taking too much space. One thing is that you can close this one. Okay. But the another time method is that you can close this by column width is available over here. So these are 5. Now look at this. The width of the question has been reduced. Space has been reduced. Now the thing is that what do you mean by the value? I start from this. This is question 1. Its type is numeric because it gives me the numerical observation. I set the width at 3. I reduce it to 1, as everything has 1, every question has width 1. Decimal is 0. Label shows that what does it the question stand for. Number 1 was, I do not feel particularly pleased with the way I am, with the parenthesis R. Let discuss it in later on. Values are very important. Now, you have submitted the responses by number 1. Over here, we are given number 1 as strongly disagree. Click add. Number 2, look at this. I have wrongly entered the strongly, I have wrongly entered the spelling of the strongly. Before moving to the next, I can change this. This is strongly. Okay, I can change it. Now it's correct form and press OK. Number 2, what was that? Moderately disagree. Press add. Number 3, slightly disagree. Number 4, slightly agree. Number 5, moderately agree. And number 6, strongly agree. And then press OK. Now you can see by pressing this radio button, this is called the radio button. You can see how many values are there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To check my data, I click back onto the data view, and for the question 1, as I entered the data Q1 for Q1, if I press this button, value labels, it converts the numerics into alphabets. Okay, look at this. Now you can see if any missing observation is there or wrong entry is there, it will highlight it by here. Because if I enter somewhere, suppose if I enter 7 over here, for the sake of clarification, I entered 7. Now press this. See, I got the observation that one of the observation is 7, which is not in the data. Now variable view, I have to write each 29 questions the same values. It's not an easy job. To do this quickly, I just hang on this and press Control C. It will copy that values, and now dragging it down till the question number 29 and Control V. It saves my time. And look at this, every click checking by any value, you can see that always automatically is there. And look at this data view. This is called the preparing the data. I'm preparing the data for the analysis. Question 1 till question 29, the data is there. Now pressing this back, it will show up to the question 29 the values. Now I'm moving to the another thing. That is called, there is no missing, the column width is 5, aligning right, it's okay. The measure is very important for the variable. I think this is, what do you say, this is ordinal or the nominal or the scale variable. As I have observed, putting the values against each and every variable. Obviously, definitely, this is not the nominal variable. This is the ordinal variable because there is an order in the response. So I click it as ordinal and clear making every variable as the ordinal. Definitely, it will again take some time since I know that the every variable is of the ordinal type, ordinal measure type. So I copy this, Control C, and paste it. Every observation is now ordinal. The next variable is none of our not necessary to be analyzed. That is the first name or the name of the respondent, that is string. The maximum characteristics used in this data is 27 characters and with the first name. This is called the gender. If look at the variable type in the Excel file, if you see that if you deal this is the character. These are the string. But for the analysis, we do not need the string. We have to convert this variable into the some numeric values. What happens if I convert this into numeric right away? Look at this. I reduce it to 10 with decimal points. I want to show something. And convert it to the numeric and look at the data, what will happen. The data has been gone. There is nothing in the data. This is the basic issue, that is converting the string variable into numeric. By the variable type window, the data can be lost. But we will convert this gender data into the readable and the data to be analyzed later on. Age is in year. This is already numeric. Yes, it is numeric quantity, and we can perform the analysis over the age in years. Education level, again, this is the very important level. Now, this is the important level. What are the basics? So, according to the questionnaire provided to you, you were given the 4 options. What are the education level? 4 education levels were given. I write it one as BS. The number 2 was MPhil. Make sure the spelling is same as in the question in the data sheet. If you put the M small and P capital, it will not be recognized. This is case sensitive. Number 3, PhD. There is no dot in the PhD. Number 3, make sure there is no dot and D is capital. Number 4 is other. Number 4 is if I put it O capital, then if I put it O smaller, then it will not be recognized. But I have to be very careful about it. Add and OK. Look at this. If I put it string and over there, nothing happens with the education level by pressing this one. No problem. We will convert it. The next was the marital status, single, married, or separate divorce. Definitely, we will. I make it again. One. I will convert it. Then I will allow the values to this variable. How to convert the gender string into numerics to get the the frequency, how many males and how many females have responded. The next is you can see this is the transform. Transform is the basically used to compute new variables or to make the different variable or convert the same into same variable. There are so many facilities available in the transform. First of all, I'm not going to use to recode the same variable. I'm going to recode into different variable. Another window will appear. Which variable is my under consideration? That is gender. Gender is basically an string. This A shows this is a string. This graph shows 1, 2, 3 bar shows this is the nominal, and this letter shows this is the scale variable. I'm going to convert this. I have to write this the recoded underscore gender. Label gender of the respondent. Change old and new variable. What was the old value? That is being very careful. Male, write the male. New value is 1 and then add. Original value was male. Now I have converted it to 1. Number 2 is the female. Old value was female. Be very careful while writing the variable data. This is the small one. Starting from the F capital, this is 2 or 0, you may write, but I prefer 2. Add. And number 3 was prefer not to say. Prefer not to say. Be careful about the everything. P capital and all the other are small, but I made mistake. Not to say. And 3. Continue. And okay. Now you see that another variable has been generated, recoded gender. This gender and this gender are different. This is numeric. Over here, this is string. Right now, I put the value labels over there. 1 for male, 2 for female, 3 for prefer not to say. And okay. Now I check my file with the data. If you look at this data, look at this. Female, but pressing this tab, this will convert into 2. Is there any 3? Yes, there is another value. Very 3. Is there any value other than 3? No. So I come back to this and I reduce its 0 and its value till 5. This is called the making the data available for the analysis. Similarly, I will perform the same operation in education level. I'll go transform, recode into different level, reset, education level, recoded edu level, education level, old and new. The very first value in the data was education level BS. I will write over BS and it's 1. Okay. Then MPhil 2. Then 3. Make sure, oh sorry, PH capital D 3 and other as 4 and add. Continue. Okay. You can see there is another variable generated, recoded, that is called education level. Now I convert this education level, copy and paste, but which I have done already. Okay. Okay, no problem. If something has happened, we can. One for BS, 2 for MPhil, 3 for PhD, 4 for other. Okay. Now I go back to the data and you see that this is the education level old variable and this is the new variable. Now compare these results by pressing this one. Wait a minute. What's wrong with the data? Oh, sorry. I wrongly entered data. Now look at this. BS, 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 MPhil, the data is same. If you click on this single value, it says the male 32 years of age, PhD with single and male and PhD. Now I can remove the older variable which are not of my concern because these are the string variables, string data. So I can delete this by clicking, right clicking and click clear. And now I I rename this control F, shift F2, pressing F2 only, and this is called gender. If I want to move this above or somewhere else, I can drag this. I can drag this at similarly. I can delete this column education level because the education level has been generated into new one. This is the string one, so I do not need this one. I click it and the clear and the data will be gone. Now the only variable to be treated is marital status. This is the string, but I need it into the some new variable for the analysis. I again do the same thing, recoding. That is called the marital status. The name is recoded marital. If I use space, it will not be. If I use space, what will happen? Look at this. It will change. It will say variable name contain an illegal character. In the naming of the variable, spaces are not allowed. Okay, I convert this space into underscore and label is the marital status. Change. Now convert old to the new one. I convert back to my file that was first is single. I write single and value is 1. Add. The next one was married. Be careful about writing the name which you have. It is case sensitive and the separate divorce. I copy it from this value 3. Add. Continue. Okay. Now you can see that then another variable has been generated that is decoded marital status. In this column, in this value label, I write again 1 as the single, 2 is the as the married, 3 as separated or divorced. Okay, what happens? Look at the data. Marital status single, single, separated, divorce, okay, single, married, single, and the single, everything is there. Now, oh, sorry. First of all, since if I rename it as a marital status is already there. So renaming this, before renaming this, I have to delete this one, which is in the string format. I clear it, and now you can see I can rename it as marital status. Okay. Now my data is ready for some sort of analysis. But another question is there, what is the role of the age in here? If you are really concerned about the age of the respondent, then you can leave it. But if you want to convert into the groups, that, for example, you may say that a specific age group should be visible. For example, you may say that is called the age categories. So you can define according to your own criteria. For example, I may say if starting the age group from, you may say, at least BS honors, student of BS honors, you may start from uh, 18 to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years gap. Okay, is group 1. Similarly, starting from 23 to 27 is group 2. 28 to 32 is group. This is totally depends on you, what you are categorizing. This can be happen, but in Microsoft Excel, it is difficult for the people, difficult for the analysis, how to convert in Microsoft Excel. That how can this be the same? Age 24, 24, 22, 24, 25, 23, and replacing each keeping the this one. Look at this uh, simultaneously. Where is the file? Okay. Keeping this in front of you, it may create some sort of problem for you, that it may lead to entering the wrong observation by mistake, or by typing error can be there. So avoiding this, we can convert the variable into a new one, that is called as age of the respondent. I again go to the transform, recode into the different variable, that is age. Reset. Age, that is called age of respondent. Over here, you are converting a numerical value into a categorical value. The numerical data is being converted into some sort of categorical variable. For this, we have defined the range. What is the range? Let me fix this one. Okay, look at this. If I go with the same one, age categories 18 to 22, but I'm not sure what is the maximum value. So before converting it, let me do some sort of analysis on the age variable, that is called descriptive, and I'm going to selecting only the age group. Options over here, mean, minimum and range. I do not need this one, minimum and maximum. This will generate, the minimum is 22 and the maximum is 60. Now I have to generate the categories according to this range, starting from 22 to 61. You can change over here as per your decision. What I'm going to do is that from 22 to, okay, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, age group is non-overlapping, 51 to 60 is 4, and above 60 is group 5. How to do that? Click the transform, recode in the different variable. Now look at this. This old value is for the single observation, but if you have the range, different observation, look at this, 21 to 30. I have to given it that is called range 21 to 30, and the value is 1, and clicking add. The next is range is 31 to 40, value is 2. Number 3 is 41 to 50, the value is 3. 51 to 60, the value is 4, and all other values range value with through highest, that is above 60, that is called 5, and 60. Oh, I missed one, so I have to remove this. 51 to 60, the value is 4, and then now more than 60, above 60, that is called 61, the value is 5. At 61 through highest, it will be allocated 5. Continue. Okay. If you see now the data, there is another over here. This is, I'll keep both the variables and look at this. I have to define the key again over here. Value 1, group 1. Just a minute. This is AG 1. What is the value of the 1? 21 to 30. 21 to 30. I just press this one and I check the data. Yes, 21 to 30. This one. What does one shows? And look at this. 27 is between 21 to 30. Now I've come back to the analysis, which is the main part of this thing, this session, how to perform the analysis. First of all, I will check how many males and females are there. For this purpose, I will go analyze descriptive, and since this is gender is the type of, look at this. This is the nominal variable. Analyze descriptive and the frequencies. I'll go with the a gender of the variable, gender of the respondent, and click simple. If there are some buttons available, statistics, what statistics you need, standard deviation, variance, I check with the range, center tendency with the mod, continue, and charts. These are bar charts according to the frequencies or the percentage. I will just take the bar charts with respect to the frequencies, continue, and display frequency table. This is already checked. If you do not want this frequency table, you can uncheck, but initially this is checked. Now this is the variable viewer, output viewer. This window, whatever you perform any action, the output of that action is in this variable output viewer. Look at this. There now I have just an idea of there are 26 males, 46 female, and one not to prefer not to say anything about the gender. Okay, no problem. I just, this is double click on this and you can see there is a chart editor available. If you click the not the first but the second in the last lane, that is by default appearing, if you click on, what happens, the number of observations appear. 26 male, 46 female, and prefer not to say 1. If you need the percentage of the total data, you can convert from the not displayed present to the up and apply. What will happen, that the percentage will come just be after the, just below the 26. Look at this, percent, and apply. Look at this. 26 male out of the, how many variables are there? There are 73 respondents, 26 male out, that is 35.6, to 46 females, that is 63%, and 1.37 is the person we prefer not to say. Another operation, I need about the other variables. I remove this, and education level, marital status at the same time. Charts, I go with the pie chart this time. Look at this. There are 11 BS honors. There are 33 MPhils, 26 PhDs, and 3 others. Total are 73, and there are marital status are 30 single, 41 married, and 2 are from the separate or divorced. Right? Now, this is the bar chart. You can convert into the pie chart, and if you see, this pie chart is called for the slices. You look at this. If you do not want to slice it, okay. The legends are over here. BS starting with the blue sign, MPhil with the red one with the major number of persons, green with the PhDs, and some sort of orange with the others. If I press this one again, show data values, what happens? Number of values are there. You can change the color of these as you like, and you can by slice the education level, but I prefer not to slice this one, and just clicking it close after making the some your requirements. If you close the chart editor, it will display over here with the legends. Similarly, marital status, and if I go with the slicing, this will be like this one. Major number are the married, the second one is single, and the third one are separate or divorced. Now I come back to the data. You have been provided with the 29 questions. The very first was, I don't feel particularly pleased with the way I am. How many females and how many males responded to this question particularly? The very first thing, I will split the file into 2 groups. You can differentiate the split file in according to the groups. There is a called data tab. In the data tab, if you search for that split file, the split file is compare group based on gender. Okay. Now, whatever operation I perform, that will be performed separately. For example, if I analyze of the very first variable, I don't feel particularly pleased with the way I am. I just convert this into this variable value, variable box, and check with some sort of observation I do not need right now. I make the charts, okay, bar charts, continue. Simple, very simple. Now look at this. I don't feel particularly pleased with the way I am. The male response are there, 26 males total and 46 females total, and prefer not to say is one that is available. Valid, strongly disagree, 5 people, 5 males strongly disagree to this, 7 to moderately disagree, 5 to slightly disagree, again 6 slightly agree, and 2 are the strongly agree among the male. And if we go with the female side, 13 are strongly disagree, 16 are moderately disagree, and this operation can be performed for rest of the questions. Look at this. This is for the male respondents. This is the data for the male respondent, and similarly, this is for the female respondents. Now I click on the males and look at this. This table of the males are being shown over here. Number of values are over here. And similarly, if you double click on the chart, you come to the chart editor and you get the things. And this is what the number 3 category I do not feel, I prefer not to say. This is 100%. One variable, and he says prefer not to say. Slightly agree. 1. The next is, since all the 29 variables are categorical data, so the best operation on these are to make the use of crosstabs. Crosstabs are usually taken for the categorical data. I select life is good in the rows. I laugh a lot. Or I am always committed and involved. I test it. Is this is there any relationship between these two categorical variables? So I select the correlation. Simple, very simple crosstab operation. And then, okay, look at this. Male and female. Okay. Chi-square test. It is linear by linear. Likelihood Pearson chi-square is not significant, but in the female, this is significant. Okay, first of all, I convert it back to the complete file, the data split file and analyze all cases. Now again, I perform this crosstabs. Look at this. These are highly significant. Mean to say, life is good versus I'm always committed and involved cross tabulation. The two cross categorical variables are highly significant and they are related to each other. There is a strong relationship, there is a strong association between these two qualitative categorical variables. Sorry. Similarly, you can perform any sort of operation on the I'm just for your sake, I am going to get the reliability analysis of these 29 variables, although it was not in my routine, in my things to discuss. So I just do this because this is the model with alpha. Okay, I do not need any sort of, so I scale if item deleted. This is the cron. I'm getting the reliability analysis means the Cronbach alpha and the inter-item correlation not required, and press this OK. This is the Cronbach alpha is 0.722. It means this is moderately good. The questionnaire is moderately good and good to adopt. There are 29 items, and look at this. Cronbach alpha if item deleted. 733, 731, 6.69, 70.78, 0.739. Nothing is above zero point 0.8, greater than 0.78, zero point 0.8. So although this was not in the module for this today, but you can perform the reliability analysis. According to the reliability analysis, you can move ahead of the principal component analysis or exploratory factor analysis, EFA, PCA, and EFA. You can perform all sort of analysis on your questionnaire, right? Next I move to the, you can perform the cross tab or the chi-square from this non-parametric test. That is called legacy. I again analyze non-parametric, legacy, and chi-square. You can do perform. So okay, what was our variable? Life is good, and I am always committed. Life is good, and I am always committed. Okay, continue. The same thing is that chi-square values are this, and this is highly significant. Similarly, like these results, that 76.964, likely you catch 29. You can confirm this by this table also. Okay, now I move to the next, that is called the regression and correlation analysis. For the regression and correlation, simple regression and correlation, you need two quantitative variables. In this file, only there is only quantitative variable, that is age. So if I go with the analysis, I have done already the analysis of the age variable. What about that? Let me tell about the distinction between the frequencies and the descriptive. When we particularly deal with the categorical or nominal data or ordinal type of data, we can prefer the frequencies. But for the sake of scale variable, including the quantitative variables, we prefer the descriptive. Crosstab is usually applied to the categorical variable only. Now I change the data set, that is open data. That is HSB open. First of all, let me tell you about the data behind this, the story behind this. This is the file which contains these variable. These are the description of the variable, and these are the levels. ID is a student ID, gender is a student gender. This is the data of the high school and beyond. High school data. Race is the student race, Hispanic, Asian, Afro-American, or white. SCS means socioeconomic status of the student, low, middle, high. School type is a public or private. Program type of program is general, academic, or vocational. These are the standardized reading score, writing score, math score, science score, and social studies score. Read, write, math, science, and SOCST. All these variables are numeric. If you see that these variables are not not the nominal, but the categorical. So let's move to the data side. Okay, already pressed. ID is not required, gender 0, race with decimal not required, program not required, but the reading score, writing score, math score, science score, social studies score, we may require the decimal points. Now look at this. We are confirmed that these are the categorical variable, as we can see that these bars are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the categorical variable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the quantitative variable. First of all, I take all the, I analyze the my frequencies. I take the ID is not an important variable. This one, and I prefer charts, bar chart. Okay, continue. Okay, there are 91 males and 109 females students. There are 91 female male students and 109 female students. Among them, for 24 are Hispanic, and the categories are there. Socioeconomic status are there. Type of school, 168 are from the public sector school and 32 are from the private sector school. Type of general, academic, vocation, these are the there. Okay, you can see that this is the gender bar chart. Now I move to the descriptives. Descriptive for the scale variables. What I required, I mean, I need sum, I need range, I need skewness and kurtosis. Okay, and okay. Reading score, range is 48, minimum is 28 marks, maximum is 76. Mean statistics is this, standard deviation is this, skewness is greater than 0, positive. In some this we can value negative, some are positive, some are negative, and kurtosis is already there. Now there is a relationship between these variables. Reading and writing score depends on your math score, depends on the reading and writing, or your science score depends on read and write score, or science score depends on math, and so any combination can be made. But for the sake of simple analysis, I observe that the mathematics score basically depends on how, what are your science score. Simple linear regression model, that math is depending on the science score. It can be or it cannot be, not necessary. But we are going to check what are the result of our analysis, that the math score depends on science score or not. So I analyze general linear model univariate, or you can go with the regression linear. Both can be adopted, but I will go with the regression linear. Dependent is the math score, or independent is the science score, that your math score depends on your science score. Statistics, I do not need R square, model fit, plot, histogram. This is very good. Options are there, and okay. Simple method. Linear regression, I again start from analyze regression linear. Math score is depending on the science score, and simple press OK. You see that this is significantly, highly significant. The math score depends on your science score. How I can conclude that the value of this significant is 0.000, and predictors are science score. Means regression, your regression model is highly significant with the math score and the science score. Variable entered science score and math. Look at this. Dependent variable is math score and predictor is the science score. Coefficients are also highly significant. The model becomes, if I write this, the very simple model will become, you can write that maths score, I denote this by y is equal to 21.7 plus 0.597 into science score. This is your model, that increasing one unit in the science score will increase your 0.579 marks in your math score. If you're good in the science, you may be good in mathematics. What about the other ones? We have other variables. Social studies score. It depends on your reading or not. Usually the social studies score depends on how much you read. Let's check. This is called redo button, or again reperform the same operation. I reset it. Social studies is dependent and reading score is independent. I do not need any sort of options. I need OK. Press OK. Yes, you can get the model summary that the variable, the model is highly significant. Now I press, look at the scene. If I want to transpose this table, I double click this table, a table editor will have to open. Okay. No, the table editor has been opened and transposed rows and columns. This will become this one. Simple to understand. And if you do this same operation, pivot, transpose, you can get in the horizontal, other you can get in the column, values in the column, or you can paste into your research articles wherever you require. Now the last thing which I am going to discuss, that is how to convert these graphs into your Word format. So I'm taking this the data which I have already, this one, just right click. The first one is the copy, and simply paste into Word document. Even this is the JPEG. Sorry, I have to remove this. You can expand this as per your requirement, according to your requirement. And if you do not want to take like this, you can just file, export, where you want to. This is the type of the variable files is there. You want to convert this in the PDF format, the PowerPoint, in the text plane, or UTF-8, or in the Excel sheet, but wherever you want to take this table or this document, this can be converted. For example, if you want to convert every object, you can select all, every what you are visiting visibly in front of you, you can select all visible, or if you can select some sort of the point, just as I have selected this particular graph, so I'm taking this into the PDF format. Okay, I'm browsing it, and now this can be in my documents. Okay, give the name graph 1, and now I'm checking my documents. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I did not select. Okay, that is exporting. I have to select this PDF file, and you can see you can share your results with your colleagues, not giving them option to do something. This one, you can look at this. I do not feel particularly pleased with the way I am, and these are the results in front of you. You can convert this into PDF file as well as into text file as well into Microsoft Excel file, whatever you want to do. This is the beauty of the IBM SPSS, that you can convert your result in many formats. Now, I think this is the time for another data set. Let me check. Okay, I'm going to perform a cross tab for the race and the socioeconomic status. These two variables means race and socioeconomic status. If I see, so I just go with the cross tabs, reset, race or socioeconomic status, statistics, chi-square. I can get the percentage of the rows, residuals, expected number of values, counts, height, small, whatever you want to perform. Okay, cluster bar chart. Okay, let's see what happens with the cluster bar charts. This is another cluster bar chart. Cluster bar chart in these two, in this graph, you can get the graph from another command. But in the first, I will discuss with the bar chart over there. I can click it, and I want to change the name of the this one. So I can just click on this, and it will allow me to change it. I can write, I can give the title cluster bar chart of socio-economic status versus race. Look at this. If you want to change the color, you can change the color. For example, if I do not like this red one, I like this different from this. Apply. Fill is log. Okay, sorry. Categories. You can change the order. You can convert high and apply. Now look at this. The change order has been changed from high, middle, low, or you can do any sort of, you can change the width also, bar width. If I want to expand this, it can be. And similarly, you want to get the values for each. And if you close this, before closing it, I'm giving you that this the size is there, this size, but when I close this one, the size has been expanded. Whatever size you have selected, it will be displayed in the output viewer. Coming to the chi-square test of this variable, these two variables are very highly significant at 0 points. Yes, there is, according to the data, there is a high significant differences uh, between the race and the socioeconomic status of the data. If you see this type of variable, this type of table is always there. Whatever you perform, this type of variable table is there, showing the valid number and percentage missing. If there is any missing observation available in the data, you will see the missing observation over here. I have another data for you for discussing the missing observation, that is, let me select that data. Wait a minute. Data. This is the data of the research from the Ayub Medical College about the stress and anxiety level on the five students of the medical students, that what are their anxiety, final anxiety level. If you see the variables, gender, marital status, and this is the column missing. If any value is missing, that will be placed as 999, or you can write it 99999 five times or three times or two times. Look at the data. If you see, I expand this one, you can see in the supportive roommate, there is, if there is 999, it may conclude that there is no roommate. Okay, or this is the income which may not be discussed. Somebody don't want to discuss about the anxiety history, someone don't want to select right, and these are available in the data. There are 200 observation, so missing observation can also be treated like this. And you can perform, if you go with this one, analyze descriptive frequencies of the supportive roommate, what will you get? Simple. Missing is, there are 29 observation which are missing. Yes, 115, no, 57. That has been bifurcated from the valid source values percentage, that there are 29, total are 200 observation. 171 has responded with yes or no, and 29 had responded with the missing observation. They did not prefer to answer any question, answer this type of question. Is there any supportive roommate or not? So that's all from my side. Gohar, I'm switching off my screen. I'm going to stop my share screen here.
We will move towards the question answer session.
Sure. Please.
All the participants are requested to please write down your questions, and if you have any comments in the chat box, the expert will respond to that. I don't see any questions or comments in the chat box. I am going to share the polling as well. Please respond to the poll. Sir, we have a question from Mohammad Tariq Kamar. He says, what is the acceptable difference between R2 and adjusted R2 for?
R square and adjusted R square. This is the
Yes, sir.
basic thing. The basic thing is, what do you understand by the R square? R square is defined the total variation explained, and R square adjusted shows if some values or the number, if the number of observation, or by decreasing or increasing the variables, how much the model have the capacity to adjust R square, right? If usually by increasing the number of it is written in many books, usually by increasing the variables or increasing the dummy variables, it doesn't create any impact on the R square. But in some cases, yes, if you introduce some critical variables or the critical observations in the data set, R square may be increased or may be decreased, or vice versa. Anything can happen.
Thank you, sir. We have a student, Binesh Fatma. She says it was a really informative session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Uh, Mohammed Akhlaq says very informative, but can you provide? Yes, we will be providing recordings within next 2 to 3 days, and you're always subscribed to our YouTube channel, the CLT YouTube channel. Post all the materials and the recordings there. So wonderful session from Sarish Zaman. Thank you. Excellent. Kirpa
Thank you.
Ram Askar. Excellent session. Yeah, we have a question. Please provide. We will share the recording. We have a question from Mohammed Sabil Khan. What a powerful tools and a nice script. I have heard about your expertise in the SPSS, and now I can say it was all true. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any question
Yes,
related to artificial
yes,
intelligence?
yes. Miss Mukaddas asked that does SPSS new software have updated with AI features or new additions?
Well, Ms. Mukaddas, question, version 29, I have not downloaded it because of the person, because of its price, and I do not have access to version 29. There are some restrictions. So I think there would be some sort of support from the artificial intelligence. But what I understand that the newer version of the IBM SPSS does support the programming language like the R and the Python. There's, in SPSS, you can get the support of the SPSS, Python and R. Yes, I know this. Higher versions are also compatible with the R and Python.
Next, we have Mr. Tanveer Shah. He says, how can we check the validity in SPSS?
Validity of the reliability, validity is the next step to the reliability. First, we have to check the reliability of the data or the questionnaire. Then, after performing some sort of advanced level operation like PCA, EFA, then we conclude that is this tool is valid or not. But first of all, you have to get the answer of the reliability analysis, then perform, again I request, then perform the principal component, use the principal component analysis tool to get the validity of the questionnaire. Usually the validity is related to your questionnaire or the tool you are using for the gathering the data from the respondents.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Dr. Rabia. She has a comment. Please add mediation and moderation analysis for further analysis, specifically Hayes model.
Okay, next time I will definitely, I have written this mediation and moderation. Okay, no problem.
We have a lot of thank yous and comments like excellent session, Emeline, Dr. Abdul Halim,
Hayes.
Irfanullah, Professor Hanan.
Thank you so much, sir.
Muhammad Akhlaq says that R and Python is very useful, particularly in advanced learning like machine learning. Is a comment.
Yes, I do. Yes, I agree. No doubt about that.
Dr. Fakhanda from Namal Islamabad asked that define EFA briefly, please.
Exploratory factor analysis is a tool to measure the to check the validity and the reliability of the questionnaire. Basically, this is the final stage where you are able to remove some variables which are not after your usage or which are not concerned with the data, because by when we prepare the questionnaire, it happens the people do not consult the statistician. They just perform, they just write down their questions, they just categorize their questions. They do not consult any statistician before pre-test or the pilot test. They do the pilot testing, they get the results, and then they go for the data collection and they collected it, and then they come to the statistician for the analysis of the data they have collected. If those scholars before collecting the data for the final stage, and I request if for the before going to the pilot testing, if you consult the statistician, your PCA and EFA will be very high. You will get the very targeted variables which are related to your research. But if you do not do that, in many cases, at the time of EFA or at the time of PCA, principal component analysis time, many variables you have to remove. You think this is at the time comes when you think I lost my energies by adding these variables and this which are not related to the my questionnaire, because the sorry, because the tool perform this. I perform one of the operation right away, that the principal reliability analysis, and I click one if item deleted. It shows that if this item is deleted, what will be the impact of the rest of the, what will be the reliability of the other variables. If you go with the Cronbach alpha, which is the very basic, if the Cronbach alpha is above 0.8, that is acceptable. But if Cronbach alpha is below 0.8, it is moderately acceptable. But less than 0.6, it is not acceptable. These are some rules defined. So there are so many questionnaires which have the reliability analysis at the Cronbach alpha, which are about 0.4, 0.5. As a statistician, we request to reconsider that how to deal with the variables. Please consider your variables, please consider your data that has been collected by you, which variables are more important, which variable are less important, and then we discuss with the researcher that include excluding these variables may increase your reliability, may increase your validity, and may this will give you the good values of the exploratory factor analysis. In fact, this is the part of the factor analysis. Thank you.
We have another question from Ms. Mukaddas. She said how the researcher can enhance the experience with the new and old version of SPSS software because there are a few changes and updated versions. Is it possible with Google help or professional learning required?
Okay, the older version definitely are older version. They are some of older version are obsolete. You can get the new version. The problem is that if you download it from the IBM SPSS website, it gives you the trial version of 14 days or I remember 30 days. 13 days or for 30 days or 14 days. After that, you will not be able to perform, but in that trial version you are limited to some sort of not to perform the complex analysis. For that reason you may search on the Google the cracked version you may get for your analysis for your see. Those are all are also available on the internet.
We have only received resources and PowerPoint to session 5 to session. Mohammed
I think this
Sabir,
is related.
hello.
GG.
Uh,
GG,
we
yes
have
sir.
we have shared all the PowerPoint and resources for all sessions. You might have not registered for that session, and we only send the resources to registrants only. So you can email me, Mohammed Sabil Khan, and I'll share these resources with you. We have a question from Aspan Yar. He says, what advanced techniques can we use in SPSS to detect and address multi-collinatory
Multicollinearity.
narrative, yeah, in multiple regression models?
Well, you can address the multicollinearity in the spaces by using the you can say the standardized normalized data. If you get the very high correlation between the two variables and uh, so you can get the correlation matrix so that you can detect the multicollinearity in the multiple regression models. Definitely, in multiple regression models, there are more than one independent variables. Today I discuss only the simple linear regression model with no multicollinearity exists. Yes, one thing was left that the R in the questionnaire there was written as R as the reverse order. If let me share my screen for this one. To Gaur, can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Sir Gaur?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay,
Hello.
thank
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I want to share my screen that is okay. I go with the data, open file, open data. That is download. I think the data is already open somewhere. I did not close this one. Yes, this one. There are basically 12 questions which have the R written at the very end of the question. Question number 1, 5, 6, 10, 13, 14, 19, 23, 24, 27, 28, 29. This R means what you have done. I start from the question, I go with the question number 29 first. Look at this question 29. I separate this question 29 and write in the center for my sake. This is question 29, right? Okay, what to do with the question 29? The R basically means that you should convert the value 1 into 6. How? Let me do that. This is called transform, recode into different variable, reset. That is question number 29. I don't have particularly happy memories of the past. This is the question. I converted this, I recorded, I named this as recoded, that is Q29. I do not need label. Okay. Now the value, the previous value is, if the previous value is 1, then convert it into 6. This is called for the R and add. If the previous value is 2, convert it into 5. If it is 3, convert it into 4. If it is 4, convert it this into 3. If it is 5, convert it into 2. And this is 6, convert it into 1. Okay. Values are there. 1 is converted to 6 and 6 is converted to 1. Okay. Look at this. Look at the data. I'm dragging it closer and closer and closer just to show you this one. If it is 1, it becomes 6. In the original question, it is 1, but in the converted, it is 6. This is called the conversion. Now you have to calculate the happiness score by converting all the required number of values which is written as at the end R, and then adding them and divided by the 29, right? It will generate your happiness score. How this will that will convert it? That is called compute variable. Let me say this is the happiness underscore level. I have to define its type, label happiness level, string, continue. Now I have to convert it from the Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 after converting the 12 questions, and then dividing by 29. This will generate your happiness score and so on till 29. I'm just for the sake of time, I'm writing this. Otherwise, you have to write the complete statement starting from the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 up to Q29. After make sure that you have converted the R values, the value variable written at the end R into recoding. This will generate the happiness score. Any other question?
We have another question from Asfan Yar. He says, thanks a lot for sharing your knowledge. One last question. What are the best methods for validating predictive models in SPSS to ensure their reliability and accuracy in different contexts?
Reliability and accuracy in different contexts. Best method. There are so many methods available, like principle. Okay, let me check. How dimension factors. That the simple component, principal component analysis, generalized least square are there, maximum likelihood are there, principal axis factoring is there, alpha factoring is there. The very advanced is the image factoring, but some very rare image factoring is used. Most commonly, the principal component analysis and the generalized least square models, which are very famous for the factor analysis and the validating the predictive models in SPSS.
Thank you so much, sir. We do not have any more questions or comments, and we are thankful to you for your time and for such an informative session.
Thank you, Gohar. I think you remember the last time we have just one data set, but
Yeah,
this time I have more than.
yeah, that's why we had a lot of questions and people were asking a lot about the session. So it was quite an engaging one.
Because this time I planned with the starting from the basics and convert, because cleaning and the validating the data is very important. If you
Yeah.
do not have the very clean data for the analysis, you may face troubles for your analysis, and you may be stuck anywhere with clean, and this is called cleaning of the data and extracting the good information from the data.
Mm-hmm.
This is very important.
Okay. Okay, sir. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Okay.